4:05. But in the meanwhile, I'd encourage all of you all to kind of use the chat box to introduce yourself. It'll be nice to network with each other. And since the topic also revolves around how you can actually build your business network, this is the first opportunity for that. So I'll just put in format that you can use to kind of introduce yourself. And let me tell you a little about myself. I'm Malvika. I take care of various strategic initiatives at GlobalLinker. And my core focus or forte lies in interacting with various people. So here I am today. And the way we'll do this session is to kind of keep it interactive. We'll see how we can clear all your doubts, your queries. So do use the chat box now to kind of introduce yourself. And for the ones who've joined in late, hello, but we'll be starting in the next 3 minutes. So I'm excited to see you all here. And while we wait for others to join in, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves using the chat box. Towards the end of the session, we will have a Q&A section where you can ask any of your questions that need to be answered, but don't wait till the end. You could actually go ahead and post any question anytime. Either me or my colleagues on the call today, Adnan and Supriya, they will respond in the chat as well. So we're here to kind of help you and add value to your business. Hello, Lakshmi. Nice to see you all have started using the chat to introduce yourself. So we'll wait for the next 2 minutes to get started, but just let me kind of tell you a little about myself. I'm Malvika and I take care of certain strategic initiatives at GlobalLinker. As you know, GlobalLinker is a networking platform with over 4 lakh plus MSMEs across the world. And the idea is basically to network with each other, build connections, discuss new opportunities, source new raw material providers, suppliers. So anything that revolves around business interactions happen on GlobalLinker today. I hope all of y'all are also using and making the most of it, because making the most of it. Hi everybody. I can see the numbers going up and I can see that y'all are introducing yourself. Nice to meet you all. We'll start just in a minute. I said this earlier, but in case you have any questions during the session, don't wait till the end. Go ahead and use the Q&A section and post any doubt or query that you might have. Okay, so it's 4:05. We'll get started for today. So nice to meet all of you. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I hope you can all see my screen now. So just for the benefit of those who joined slightly late, we will keep this session fairly interactive. I'd like you to stay as engaged as possible, reply in the chat box, send in any comments, queries, feedback. And what we're going to be covering today is is this. So basically an overview of GlobalLinker. In fact, I'll show you a live demo of it as well. Second is, I'm sure you all know how critical and important it is to actually have a digital profile, or rather be digitized yourself. But we'll just touch upon that of how important it is, as well as how can you really go ahead and do it. And then how do you go ahead and sell, whether it is learning how to do it, where, when, why, but how do you basically allow your prospect customers to reach your products or services. And then we'll go on to, and I'll intentionally keep the monologue or the one-way communication shorter than the Q&A section, so that we can all interact with each other and kind of fulfill any expectations that you might have. Okay, so just to understand how many of you actually know about GlobalLinker and how it's going to help you, you could type in the chat box. It'll be nice to know what do you know about GlobalLinker, so that let's see how many of you know about it. So just like the way we all use Facebook to connect with friends, and probably LinkedIn to connect for jobs, for work updates, imagine that you're actually connecting with all your business connections and making business opportunities, striking a deal, making transactions happen. That exactly is what happens on GlobalLinker today. It is a community of business owners like yourself who network with each other, who actually interact about sourcing new raw material, let's say engaging new distributors, appointing agents for their business, sharing any new award or achievement that you all might have. And this community is honestly free to join, but it is an invite-only program, and I'm happy that you all have all been invited by various organizations to be a part of it. Think of GlobalLinker as your online business circle. So let me show you a glimpse of how it looks like and what are the various things you can do on the platform, as well as how do you really make the most of GlobalLinker. So I'll just log into my own GlobalLinker account and show you how that looks like. Okay, so I've logged into my GlobalLinker account, and so it looks like a social feed, right? We're very used to a user interface like this. We have often used Facebook to make friends. We've used LinkedIn to kind of post jobs, find talent, etc. But how do you really make business connections is what happens on GlobalLinker, and we've tried to keep it similar to what you already experience. So the first section here, or basically the most used feature by many business owners, is this aspect here, where you talk a little about what you're looking for, or what your current achievement is, what are the kind of products you deal in, any particular new update that you'd like to give about your organization. This is where you will kind of use this section. Now there are various other features, and that comes into this resources section, but one of the main areas is of course knowledge, and let's see what that entails. So there are two parts. There's articles and discussions. Discussions is what I showed you here on the main screen, where you can actually go ahead and start a discussion, invite others to comment about it, just like how you do on other social platforms. But articles is where you actually talk about an expertise that you might have. So let's say, for example, this business owner is an entrepreneur, and he is actually talking about how do you get inspiration to start your own business. So let's say you are a CA, and you are going to talk about how do you really register your firm. So when you write such articles, or when I as a user get to read such articles, the trust factor plays an important role. It comes into the picture, which then makes me feel that yes, he knows his subject. Yes, this person really knows what he's talking about, is experienced in this field. I go ahead and check out their profile. I see that they have, let's say, a decade of experience in this area, and then I then start sending a message, then interact with them, and then realize that yes, we can actually do business together. So the first step in building trust or establishing that position of where you are inviting your customers to talk to you is by actually sharing your knowledge, sharing your expertise, telling the world that you are a subject matter expert in that area. So for example, you can see here Federation of Indian Export Organizations is putting in weekly trade alerts, or for example, Carlos is saying that he's an expert in the HR domain, so he's talking about that. So go ahead, write about what you know best, about what your organization really can offer to the rest of the world, but not promotional, rather educational. This section can be used for that. Then moving to the next part, I hope this is pretty clear, but what exactly is groups? Now, let's say we were all meeting in a group offline, then we would maybe, let's say, become a connections group, or we would just kind of become a networking chapter. But you have a different interest, I might have something else, a third person might be interested in something else. So how do we kind of categorize that is what happens today online here. So you can join a group of your interest, whether that is a woman entrepreneurship group, or it's, let's say, a fashion and style, you're interested in that, or you want to become a growth partner, or you want accounting as a focus. So you join these like-minded groups, see the kind of interactions that are happening here, comment and discuss with others about how you can add value to their business, and invite them to engage with you. So that's a part of kind of becoming a part of like-minded groups. Then we'll move on to catalog and offers together. But what is offers? So we've actually kind of curated various businesses to give you special offers, give you a rate or a negotiated deal which you probably don't get independently, and therefore the collective power of all of us together is what we're leveraging upon. 4 lakh plus businesses together wanting a particular service is of great amount of value, and therefore people really want to offer a lot more services which independently doesn't make a lot of sense for them. So if you are a small and medium-sized business owner, and if you want to kind of have everything under one roof and make your journey of business growth more smooth and profitable yet enjoyable, then this is where you'll kind of explore the various opportunities. So let's say you want to do transaction banking, or you're looking at just maybe renting an office space to actually doing an entire module of Tally. This is what you'll explore. Now, one of the key features that we also have is an e-commerce store builder capability. If you see on the top section, you'll see an online store. This is the section where you can actually make an entire transactional store of yours. Right now, I'm in my account, so I'm not the admin of the store, so I'm not able to show it to you, but let me show you a couple of examples of what I mean by an online store. This is a social enterprise in the state of Telangana. They empower women from the slums and give them a livelihood by selling their products. So now, what do I mean by an online store, or rather not just an informational website, is the fact that I can actually go ahead and add products to my cart and purchase, which means that this brand is allowing me to actually get my products home delivered. And I'm sure all of us as users today have already shifted online. Now, what you need to think about is, you as a business, are you providing that kind of an experience to your customers as well? Are you allowing them to transact from you? think about it and see how fast you need to kind of move into that domain, and don't be restricted to the fact that it's just B2C. We also have B2B options. Let's say you are only dealing with distributors, retailers. Are you doing that process manually? Are you doing it offline? That is what you should also be moving online. So my emphasis lies around, in this session today, the fact that you need to digitize every aspect of your business, but don't get scared by the fact that there's a lot ahead of you. You could be at any phase, and I'll show you how that works. So let me actually now just go back to showing you my presentation. Okay, so now that we know how to kind of use GlobalLinker, and we know that it's almost like finding buyers and suppliers, finding matchmaking with other business, building connections. And that's one important area that I'll focus on towards the later part of the session today. But I hope you got a sense of how you can actually use this solution to make your business more discoverable, make it more transaction ready for your customer to transact with you. Moving to the next slide. Yes. So I'm sure as business owners, resources for all of us will be pretty limited, and we really need to use them wisely. But from my past sessions, I've seen how a lot of people say, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I'm limited with bandwidth, or maybe I don't have the capacity. And therefore, it's important to kind of plan where you want to invest your resources. Now, we all know that we need to be online, but where do we really identify, or where do we see our business channelizing the resources in? Now, you probably would have already seen how you can build and network with each other in a closed group or in a room, but how do you scale that up? How do you reach out to customers in Philippines? How do you reach out to prospect buyers in Africa? That is what the power of online is today. So before we move forward, let me ask you all to just, in your mind or in a piece of paper, kind of draw a tree, and fairly quickly, in about 3 seconds, draw a tree. So I can assure you that more than 95% of us would have actually drawn the tree in our mind or on paper, but just like the way they taught us as kids, 2 lines for a bark and then a cloud on top for the bush. But if we all were together, and if it was a competition between various groups, or if we were all given, each group was tasked with this responsibility, I'm sure everybody would have been more creative, thought of various ways on how they can actually put in the fruits on the tree, or put in certain grass around it, or add a sun there. So the reason why I'm actually wanting you to think about this is because networking helps you ideate on such things. Now, new ideas don't come to you just sitting at home, but when you talk to people about your business, when you talk to people about various challenges that you might be facing, or let's say you talk to people about striking new opportunities, you learn from them. And that exactly is what has to happen today for all of us. So I'm sure you've understood the importance of how we can collectively achieve more. Then let's see why we should actually build our own sales channel. So times are honestly changing today, and we also should be doing that. So think about it. Have you ever kind of blocked an advertisement before, or let's say clicked a skip ad? I'm sure all of us have. But on the other hand, how many of us actually followed an influencer, a celebrity or somebody who's talking about various products and not just promotional content. So this is the reason why you need to build your own brand, because otherwise you won't be noticed. And when it comes to actually listing or diversifying on marketplaces, it's very important. It's very important that all of us have our businesses, products and services listed on various marketplaces. But as a consumer, step back and think, how many times do you go on any marketplace like Amazon, Flipkart, and go ahead and read the name of the seller? You don't, right? You just go ahead and transact on the marketplace. And therefore, it becomes even more important that you get your set of customers from marketplaces, but you build your brand via your own sales channel. Okay, so moving ahead. Now, at GlobalLinker, we have over 15,000 plus sellers who are actively using our store capability, whether it's B2C or B2B, or it's even industrial consumer goods, all types of products. And I have been honestly in touch with various sellers for over 4 years now. And a lot of them have shared insights, data, learnings, which I'm trying to collate and share with all of you today so that we all grow together. Now, before we move forward, I'd like to ask all of y'all, how many of us actually shop online? You can use the chat box to respond yes, no. Do you shop online? Okay, so I can see that people are saying yes, you shop online. And we actually have run polls where in my previous webinars, I've asked them, how do you shop online? And over 80% of business owners today as consumers shop online. But if I can now ask you, how many of us actually are selling online? Are you allowing your customer to buy from you? Now, if you can respond yes or no. You shop online, that's a given now. But are you also allowing your customers to buy? I can see almost all of us are shopping online, but are you also allowing your customers to buy, Mr. Shrikant or Pratibha, Mr. Mohammed? So we've seen that there is a huge drop. Even though we as consumers want to shop online, we are not necessarily, even though we know the importance of it, we are not necessarily giving the same experience to our customer. And that is exactly the thought that I want to leave you with, that think about how convenience matters to consumers. And whether that's B2C or B2B, allow your distributor to online order from you. Allow them to kind of not wait for the salesperson to come to their doorstep, see all the products and then book the order. Let them see your online catalog. Let them pre-order all their items. Or let's say you run a promotional offer for them if they're not meeting their quota. Or you put in the various parameters in place for various distributors. So let's say you have 100 distributors and you have 100 different parameters. You are allowing different credit periods for somebody. You're allowing different minimum order quantities, different discounts. All of that exists today online. All you need to do is explore that. In fact, we have a product which will allow you to use something like this. So if you are interested in something like that, you can go ahead and drop a message and we'll have somebody contact you post the session to explore that. Okay, so moving to the digital roadmap. So there are 5 stages and 5 major stages of digitization. You kind of lay the foundation by creating an online presence, by Then you build it by staying active, and then you promote your products, your services, and then via social media or digital marketing or SEO, SEM, all of that comes in, you scale up, you grow your business, and then you maximize it by depending on data, on trends. You start increasing your profit, reducing your costs, and at the end of all of this, you try to sustain, get repeat customers, earn goodwill, build loyalty, and then that cycle is almost like a vicious cycle. Once you've mastered it, it keeps happening. You don't then need to start from scratch all over again. So, but you might argue that I've been doing business traditionally for 20, 30 years now. My customers come to my store, they purchase my goods. So why should I move online? Why should I put in so much effort for a marginal increase? And I'm sure many of you have that question today. So let's try and understand, even if not a completely online solution, a hybrid model is something you should definitely look at. So let's take an example. So we have today, there's Chetna, there's Mohammed. So let's say Chetna has her own store of footwear in Mumbai, in Andheri, and she gets about 50 to 100 customers a day. She makes profits, she's very happy, but now she wants to expand. So any thoughts or answers on how she can grow from 50 customers to 1,000 customers? Use a chat box to kind of answer that, but just adding a little more onto that example. Let's say Chetna now thinks that, okay, let me run certain discounts, attract new people, run a sale. And she does that. And in fact, now from 50 customers, she's reached 200 customers coming in every single day. But think about it, her profits have now gone down because she's ran a huge discount. And she's still limited to 200 people. She's not been able to move to 1,000. And she doesn't have data of all these customers coming in. She's busy now trying to fulfill that sale. So if she were to move online, what she would have over a period of time was rich data of all her customers, and not just promotional material that she can send to her customers and say that, okay, we're running a sale or we're open now. Not just that, but she now knows that on Tuesday between 5 to 9 p.m. I don't get customers, but on Wednesday I have a lot of customers coming in. So why don't I run a sale only from 5 to 6 on Tuesday? So in this way, she is not actually reducing her profit. She's increasing her customers. She's kind of also getting to new audiences, and she has their data. She's able to send them samples. She's able to tell them to order again. She's allowing them to kind of come back to her store and explore various other products. But in an offline format, there's a lot of things that are involved. Proximity of the store to the customer's house, how often can the customer come there, how much of brand recall value are you able to create, which is easier today to also build online. Now let's say Chetna's friend comes and Mr. Mohammed comes to her store and says, okay, now you've gone online, you've started running sales which are very focused on the days of lean period, but I have done this pretty long back, and I'm now actually, I started exporting my products. I started getting orders from Australia, from Africa, and Chetna then really kind of realizes that the journey needs to begin somewhere, but will grow in the positive direction. Now, it entirely depends on how much she's able to invest in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of resources to digitize her business. So she understands the importance and then implements it. And the way forward is then always growth. So let me now also kind of take you through a digitization index that we try to factor in various stages that you as a business owner might actually be. So all business functions, be it marketing, sales, logistics, operations, accounting, all of it have various areas of digitization. In marketing, you might have a logo, a website, or let's say you've purchased your own domain, or you're using a free domain, or you're building trust by actually sending emails, you're creating an online profile, you're staying active, you're contributing articles, you're allowing customers to purchase from you. You actually then start inviting inquiries if your product is customizable. You integrate various payment methods, you deliver to the doorstep of your customers, and much more. So you what I'm trying to emphasize is that you could be on any stage of this, but the fact that you are in this journey is what is critical. um, so let's say moving to the next business function is operations or sales. You are then like at a later point in time, you'll be able to track data efficiently. You start using an ERP system, but somebody else might actually use just a record book today, or then progress to an Excel sheet. Or in your sales channels, you start with only physical outlets, then you do physical plus delivery with your own delivery feed. Then you move on to marketplaces, and then you say that, okay, now I want to also build my own brand name. So let me have my own online store. So the thought that I'm trying to leave you all with is the fact that whichever stage you are in, the building block to grow is what you need to focus on. So if you're imagining a castle, you need to lay the bricks today. So it's important that all of us start progressing today. And like I told you earlier, I'm going to intentionally end the session pretty fast so that we keep it open to anyone asking any questions, discussing how you can maybe tell me a little about your business. We can do it in a workshop mode where we're talking about how you can grow your business. Okay, so are there any questions from anybody? Leave any comments, feedback. I can see that you are using the chat box, but I'd like to ask if you can use the Q&A section. Mr. Naresh, you say branding and promotions. I hope that was a response to the Chetna example. And I'm happy to kind of invite any of y'all to unmute yourself, talk a little about your business. Let's use this opportunity to network with each other. It's not that any of us know more than each other, but I'll be happy to know that, let's say, Mr. Naresh is dealing in dry fruits, and maybe there is an exporter here. Let's try to kind of, in this small group, also see if we can get in any business opportunities. So, Mr. Tapan, how to use the digital platform? Can you kind of explain your question a little more? Are you referring to GlobalLinker, or are you referring to any other digital platform? I hope you were there during the part where I did a walkthrough of this GlobalLinker platform, but I'll do it again if you do confirm that it's GlobalLinker itself. Then Mr. Mohammed, how to make a presence on Amazon? Honestly, for that, you will have to kind of contact Amazon itself. I'm not the right person to help you in that regard. Okay, I can see Mr. Shrikant dealing with solar rooftop projects in Tamil Nadu. Mr. Tapan, I'm tour operators. How do I promote in global? So if you are a tour operator, let's take an example of your business itself. So and again, this question comes in a lot of times, that I'm a service oriented business. How do I kind of allow customers to interact with me, or how allow my customers to transact with me? So if you're a tour operator, let's say you have a Maldives package, an Africa package, Bangladesh package. There are various packages that you might have, which will have a certain cost to it. which will have certain inclusions of the package. All you need to do is create your online store, start inviting your regular customers, allow your frequent customers to kind of first start transacting with you, knowing that they have that convenience to not have to kind of call you at 12 in the night, ask you about the package, understand what the itinerary contains, and they're able to kind of at least send an inquiry to you that they're interested in that, or they're able to actually purchase the package and then you customize it for them. So once you start doing that, that's when you'll be able to promote it to other places. Now I can see there's a question on how do I promote it to foreign countries. So we've recently launched a portal called the Indian Business Portal, and I'll share my screen and show you that as well. So for those of you who asked me, how do I start showcasing my products to foreign buyers or overseas? This is the platform you need to join by Federation of Indian Export Organizations in collaboration with GlobalLinker. It is concentrated effort of about already around 2,500 Indian sellers on the portal, showcasing their products, talking a lot, whether it's inquiry or it's purchasing. Like for example, on this rubber product, you can see that they might have a customized price, or they might have a bulk order quantity that they need. So they are allowing customers to send an inquiry. Versus here, this polo t-shirt dress in active wear, I like the product and I can actually go ahead and buy it. Now, if I was a customer in Argentina, I would have sent this on the portal, and this seller, which I think is called DQ, they would have received it and they would have fulfilled the order. Now, this portal currently is open to all of you to join. It's important that if you're looking at exports, then you kind of list your products here. Again, if you are looking in being a part of the Indian Business Portal as a seller, do drop a message in the chat box and I'll have somebody contact you. Or the easiest way for you to do it is you use GlobalLinker's online store section, which I showed you here. On the top navigation, you see an online store. Create your own online store. Send us a message or an email or just contact us and we'll help you link it to the Indian Business Portal if exports is your current focus. Okay, going back to your questions now. I'm in customized ducting manufacture. How do I create my online store for my products? So, so Chetna, we have various modes in which you can learn how to create your online store. One is that we run daily sessions, training sessions, Monday to Friday at 7:30 p.m., which we're trying to move to 5:30 p.m. based on popular demand. But I'll put in the link in the chat box here where you can join these sessions. We have interactions about how do I create the store, how do I do promotions management, customer management, right from inventory management, all of that. The entire process of creating your store is taught over these 5 days. Do tune into that, learn from the expert, an in-house expert, Mr. Adnan. He will guide you through the journey. It's an interactive session where you can actually pause him, ask, how do I now, let's say, edit my pricing, or how do I delete some product, how do I make it inquiry based. You can do that entire process. Or how do I even link payment gateway providers, how do I add logistics, shipping zones, all of that is explained. So that's the first format, Chetna, where you can enroll for the training sessions that happen in the evening every day, Monday to Friday. The second way is that we have regular videos, pre-recorded videos on our GlobalLinker YouTube channel. They're already explaining right from, we have the entire course where you can learn how to make your store, or even bits. Let's say you're stuck in some process, then you can even pick up any of those bits and learn how to do that. Or we can also kind of help you book a one-on-one session with our expert if you're stuck in some part. Or the fourth way is that you tell us that you need help from us, and we kind of create the entire thing for you at a nominal cost. So before I move to the next question, I'll just show you some more stores. So this is another store who kind of, if you see here, they also have added the chat section where you can chat with them. Or how do you upload banners if you get stuck in that? That's what you can ask. Or how do I kind of invite customers to add in reviews for my products? How do I get them to subscribe to my newsletter? Any kind of question that you might have in either form, whether in the training session or in the pre-recorded material, or even in reading guides and study material, you'll be able to get answers to all of that. Or we're just a call away. I will be sharing my contact details in the chat box for you to kind of contact us. Let me show you another industrial products store. I saw some questions around that. So you see, you can actually, whether you are a service provider or industrial machines is your focus, you can allow your customer to know about you just at the click of one website. And you will actually be able to allow them to send an inquiry or add products. No matter how high the cost is, don't get afraid. People know that certain things are customizable, certain are not. You know your customers well. They know that they can actually, today what they're doing over a phone call or waiting for your salesperson to come, they'll be able to do that right now, here itself. Okay, so I'll go back to the next question. Okay, so now I'll go in the reverse order. Mr. Tapan, I would request you to keep recorded webinar video if we miss the webinar. We already have that. If you have registered for the webinar, you will receive the recording of it after the session is done. Or you could also just go on to YouTube channel of GlobalLinker and you'll be able to see all the recordings there as well. Any example of B2B website? Sure, I will show that to you. More than an example of a B2B website, it's a particular login that all your distributors or retailers may be able to do. In fact, if I have my colleague here, let me just check if my colleague Adnan can showcase any B2B login and I can walk you through that. We'll give him a minute to kind of figure out if he can do that. I would have to go into an existing account to do that. I mean, where my retailer can log in, walkthrough of that. Sure, I will. I hope Adnan will be able to kind of retrieve that.
Yeah. Yeah, Malvika. So would you like me to share the screen?
Yeah, I'll walk them through it.
Sure. So I'll start sharing my screen.
Great. So this is a footwear brand, and the B2C version is what you're seeing right now, but you've requested to see the B2B version as well. Now, so if I'm a customer, I can actually just purchase any of these products on top. But if I'm a distributor, I come down to the login section, put in my phone number, and just via OTP log in to the portal, and and I get all the benefits that you've actually asked me for. Now, whether you're a distributor or retailer, you specifically asked for a retailer, so I'm saying that, but they'll be able to log in, they'll be able to see that you have customized that they can't order just one product, they need a minimum order quantity of 10, or let's say because they're buying 10 at a time, you're giving them a 30% discount. All of that will be pre-fed by you, and you will then be able to kind of allow them to transact. So I think, yeah, now Adnan has the OTP. Yes, Poonam, it is indeed great. I definitely think that if you are a B2B brand, this is something you 100% sure should explore. So yeah, there. So now you can see that here in this product, while earlier the pricing was 1,999, because I'm a distributor who's logged in, I can now avail a 10% discount. I see that the minimum order quantity is not 1. I can't buy 1. I have to buy 15. And in fact, if I have any credit, I'll be able to avail that as well. So he's added to cart, and you see here that, okay, he does have a credit balance of 26,000, and it's now showing 0. So allow your customers to do this, whether it's a retailer or a distributor, or let's say even you're a boutique and you have various women selling for you, allow them to do that. Credit logic is great. Yes, not only credit, but there are various other customizable things. So some products can be hidden for a particular distributor. And one thing I'd like to mention is not that your data remains private. Distributor A or retailer A will never see the details of distributor B or C. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so are there any other questions for the B2B part so that Adnan can show that, or we'll move to the next question? So Poonam asks, how will I share offers on email to my partner? Once you start building this store of yours, you'll have your customer information when they transact with you, and that's when you'll be able to share emails with them. Okay, Adnan, I think we can stop sharing with that. But maybe if you do have any other B2B website examples, then we can put it in the chat box maybe for anybody to explore, or we could share our screen as well. Examples of B2B website, B2B for IT. Okay, so Mr. Shrikant is saying, is there any agency to support us for setting up store on GlobalLinker? Yes, Mr. Shrikant, there are various growth partners with us who are trained and they know how to create a store for you. So you could contact either of them, because you're asking for an agency, but we're happy to do it in-house as well. We have created various stores in various domains. And if you're looking at a paid service or an assisted service, I would say, then do contact us and we'll be happy to help. Let me go ahead and just put in my contact details first. Okay. Behel International. Okay, then I'm a B2B distributor. How will I get my partners onboarded? I think that question is answered, but and you don't have to do it one by one. All you need is an Excel sheet of your partners, and you can actually invite all of them through this product itself. Does GlobalLinker promote on paid basis? If you're referring to any kind of banners, advertisements, no, we don't do that. If you're referring to any kind of assistance, we are always happy to help you. If that does take up time of a resource, that is at a paid cost. Otherwise, creating a store on your own is absolutely free. Chetna, I hope your question is answered. Okay, so are there any other questions, or do we finish right on time at 5 o'clock? We're basically dealing in medical equipment. I wanted to know what are the platforms or digital platforms where we can get customers. So again, one portal that I mentioned to you is the Indian Business Portal that you can explore. It has a medical devices, medical equipment section, and you can definitely list all of your products there. I hope I didn't miss any questions that were in the chat box. Hoping for leads in the plastics industry. So, Pratibha, there are various ways in which you can actually get leads or connects. The first step is you tell the world about yourself, create a profile, a rich profile of yours, which has all the products about any certifications that you have, any awards that you've won. The next step is to create an online store or a digital catalog, whether it's B2C or B2B. We saw certain B2B examples as well. The third step is to link yourself to relevant marketplaces, like I showed you, the Indian Business Portal, or any of the marketplaces like Amazon, Flipkart, or we have certain specialized marketplaces as well. So, for example, for the state of Telangana, the government of Telangana has an initiative called Made in Telangana, which invites all Telangana-based sellers to list their products, invite customers from outside of Telangana. The focus is around getting other state customers. So even the government body is governments are promoting such a initiative. They also want people to come online, sellers to come online. So that's I think, if you can tell me a little more about which stage, for example, in the digitization index, you saw that there are various phases. Which stage are you at? Where are you at? And there we can help you progress in that journey. Okay, so are there any other questions? Or I think we can end the session. Thank you, Pratibha. Thank you. I hope that answered your question. Great. Okay, so the ones who are actually saying great session, it's great because you joined in. Thank you for joining in today. Happy to interact offline as well. I've shared my contact details. You can send out an email or contact me on call, and let me know where you're stuck, or just you could also just maybe give in feedback. I'll be happy to hear from you. Thank you for joining in today. It was indeed my pleasure as well. Yes, we will connect more often, definitely.